Welcome back to the vlog. If you're new here, my name is Vin and I document my journey building a business in my 20s. And we're kicking this week-long vlog off on Tuesday. And today I gotta finish packing up the final orders for our merch. Then I'm heading into the city for an Amazon Live and Meta event. We got some contracts that are out that hopefully we sign. Lots more sales calls and more content getting shot this week. Let's get it. All right, so last week we just dropped our Creatorbuzz merch to keep creating hats. We just officially sold out of all 50 hats. So these are the last 3 orders that are going out. And so what you do is you go into Shopify, you have to buy the shipping labels, which are pretty damn expensive. This is like spending like $30 on 3 shipping labels. And then the shipping labels come out of this little printer here. We got hat going in the box to Will Aiken, shout out to Will. I'm pretty happy that we did sell out of all the merch. It's not something that's gonna produce like a ton of revenue for the business at all. And actually, it does require a lot of time and energy to actually get the merch together. You have to hold inventory, you have to pay for shipping, you have to drop off stuff at the UPS or at the post office. So like, it is kind of a lot of work, but it also is a really fun experience, like creatively and artistically, to come up with the concept, to market the product, you know, build the website and the landing page and the marketing strategy. So it is pretty fun. We'll probably do another drop. I don't know when. Definitely gonna have some time separated from that, but I think it was a pretty cool experience. All right, just sent out a pretty small contract to a prospect that we're trying to sign. We're helping them with their event strategy for the CSM Summit in London. We're trying to send out one of our creators there, have her capture content, we'll edit the content, and then they'll have that as distribution. So it's a pretty small agreement, to be quite honest, but hopefully this allows us to get our foot in the door and sign them for a bigger agreement for 2025. But now I gotta catch a train to the city for the Meta event. As an entrepreneur running an online business, like most of my days are spent in my home office, so it's good to go into the city for these type of events. I got invited to a Meta and Amazon Live event. You can see how long the line is. My buddy Jesse met me, and they were really demoing the new Meta frames by Ray-Ban. So you can say like, hey Meta, play this song, and it would play music out of the frames. They were showing us how to take pictures and videos, and they even had a bunch of ingredients out on a table. And if you look at the table and say, hey Meta, what can you make with these ingredients? It'll say you can make cookies or whatever it was. So it was pretty cool. So I am tempted to buy these. Fucking check tire pressure light every time. All right, just got back from the Meta event, threw on a quick change of clothes, and now we're heading over to my boy Sam's office. My buddy Sam's office is basically where I shoot a lot of brand deals that I do. So if I ever have to do like a talking head style video or like a product demo, and I need like a nice looking desk and background, I typically will do that out of his office. Maybe one day I'll be able to invest into an office or a studio space. But for now, my friend Sam is kind enough to let me use his desk. And this video actually is for Microsoft Copilot. So it's pretty cool. I mean, Microsoft's like a friggin', I don't even know how many billion-dollar company it is. So it's really cool. I'm actually in the middle of a campaign right now with Microsoft Copilot and LinkedIn, both owned by Microsoft. Really cool technology brands that I want to work with. In terms of my personal brand, since I'm trying to scale the business, for my personal brand, I only want to work with really great and honestly big companies like Microsoft, like LinkedIn. So I'm not going to be doing any other brand deals that don't fit that criteria, unfortunately, just because I want to focus all of my efforts on scaling the business. All right, just got to Sam's office. Basically, the talking head style is usually at this desk right here. So what I do is just clear the space a little bit, open up my laptop. Where the laptop is usually where my script is. So I'll write out the script a few days before, a week before, whenever the brand approves the script. And once the script is approved, that's where I'll basically start to record this video. So what I need right now is a mic, which I have plugged in right now. But I don't want this to be in the video, so I just bought a new lavalier mic. So these Rode mics are really great. The problem is they're a little bit of an eyesore. They're just like this big block. So Rode actually makes this lavalier mic, which let's see if it can zoom in on it. It's very inconspicuous. And this not only acts as a microphone, but you could basically plug this in. I don't know if the audio is going to change when I do this. And now this acts as like a receiver to the lavalier mic. And you run the lavalier mic through your shirt. And you clip it. And now it's a lot more inconspicuous when you're filming. I actually just bought this, so I'm excited to test it out today. Hopefully it's working. I tested the audio. I think it's working. Storylane is even trusted by companies like Outreach, Clary, and Gong. All right, yesterday was my content day. Today is definitely focused on sales calls. So starting at 9 a.m., we have a touch base with one of our clients. Then we have a call with one of our creators that we're trying to sign for another one of our clients. And then we have a really, really, really big sales call at 10 a.m. and 3 more sales calls spread out throughout the day. So most days are set up like this, where majority of the days we're on sales calls. And then, like I said, that one Tuesday is just dedicated solely to content. So I'm still trying to figure out my own calendar, but this is what we're working with so far. Everyone that's posting for the end of the month is going to use the Black Fridays in the CTA in the text. All right, we got our 10 o'clock call. Pretty big opportunity that I'm trying to close for next year. And whenever there's a big call, you got to lock in, you got to put the standing desk up. So we're doing that now. Yeah, and it'll be, I think, a mix of the three of these, right? So there will be a section, and here's where I'll talk about it too. There will be opportunity for you to actually work with influencers to help with bottom funnel things like downloads, signups, etc. And so, like, the one thing I really wanted to highlight was the state of B2B advertising, because one, it's like a really, really great asset. Like, there's a ton of value in there. I know your team has been working pretty hard on it. I know these take a while to put together. And I'm just looking at, like, what are other companies doing? Like, I know Hockey Stack has their own. I think, like, Gong using this as content assets. Like, instead of just creating the report, they're like, how can we chop this up into 1,000 different pieces of content? We do have these, like, more macro creators in our database for sure, but I would say our bread and butter probably is this micro influencers. And so that could be a good opportunity to, like, diversify some of the creators that you have worked with. They obviously don't have as big of a reach, but they're really dialed into a specific community. They're obviously a lot more affordable. Like, I'm curious to, like, what else needs to happen on your side for us to move forward, or is pretty much like the conversation we had today, like, sufficient for you guys in order for me to send a proposal over?
No, yeah. For me, like, we don't have too much. So basically, right now, my only stopper could be that I don't have yet the budget for next year.
Yeah, that works for me. Totally get it. I know there's, like, other things that need to happen prior to that. So maybe what we'll do, if it's cool with you, maybe we can put a placeholder out for just like a few weeks out. I can put together also some more details of, like, what I'm envisioning for the campaign, different style types, kind of sharing an idea of what the creators could look like without actually, like, sharing the secret sauce sort of thing. But
Yeah, I think that would be great. If I get, like, that number before, then I can just tell you, and then we can pick things up. If not, then
okay, yeah, that's cool with me. Okay, so I just ended that call with a closing question. No matter if it's the first call, second call, third call, fourth call, it doesn't matter. You should always end the call with next steps. Now, in that call, he kind of said he was, like, interested in moving forward. He just needed final approval. So the closing question is, like, what else needs to happen in order for us to move forward? So he just said his boss needs to give him the final numbers for next year, and if it looks good, we can move forward. So instead of just, like, waiting around and just continuously following up over email, we threw a placeholder out for 2 weeks out after the holidays to connect to see what next steps are. Are we moving forward? What's his budget? Could he afford us? Etc. So that's the game plan. Okay, it's about 2 o'clock. This is the time when I usually grab an espresso. I have a 3 o'clock call with a prospect that I'm trying to close before the end of the year. So right now what I'm doing is just putting together a deck for them to review, potentially a proposal. It's a company in the marketing technology space, so we would have to recruit a bunch of B2B marketers to join the program. So also, I've been drinking espressos, which are super good, but I definitely want to upgrade to the Breville espresso machine. I'm tempted. All right, we just got the deal closed, signature signed today, and that one's about $1,500. And when you close a deal, you got to celebrate with 50 Cent, of course. All right, final call of the day. It's 4:30. Daylight savings. It's super dark. This is brutal. We did send out 2 contracts today, so I'm pretty pumped about that.
Oh yeah, the videos are unreal. Like, I was telling Lauren, it's hard not to fanboy just with all this stuff, and, like, being able to track the whole journey that you've had too. Like the good old whiteboard, and then seeing where everything's at and stuff. I'm sure you get it all the time, but super cool stuff.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. Yeah, it's fun actually, like, being able to document that stuff, and it's like this type of content that I like to consume. So this week wasn't the most exciting, I would say. It was a lot of behind the desk working. But the truth is, in entrepreneurship, most days aren't super exciting or super sexy. It often involves a lot of the same days over and over again, different challenges, but majority of the time, especially if you have an online business, is spent behind the computer desk. So that's why it's really important to change up the scenery, working out of a coffee shop, working with a friend, or for me, being close enough to Manhattan, being able to go into the city to meet up with friends or go to events. Maybe not the most exciting week, but extremely productive week. We closed a few deals. We broke a record for booked revenue in 1 month at $63,000. So I'm extremely excited about that and the growth of the company. So next week, we're actually headed to Miami for Art Basel, which I've never been before, and I honestly don't really know what to expect, so I'm super excited about that. I am going with Sprout Social. They also brought me to Dreamforce in San Francisco back in September or whenever that was. So I'm truly grateful for our partnership there. And we'll see. I don't know what we're going to get into at Miami Art Basel. If you have any recommendations, please comment below. And if you're interested in more behind the scenes of being in my 20s, running and trying to grow a business, follow along.